All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Give me touching on the top prop bets here on PrizePicks on this Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get into it. And so I do want to start off with a couple of current call things here for the 9 to 5 PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheets. First, we just got in some NBA prop bets from the traditional sportsbook, so I'll be able to implement those into an NBA PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheet. Pretty excited for that. So that should be up today. There's only one sportsbook currently, FanDuel, with the odds coming in there. So I did want to call that out. Now, with NHL and also NBA as well, both prop bets, if we have a good bet, will be pulling into the cheat sheet itself. What I'm talking about here is adding in the NBA tab and then adding in an NHL tab. So right now, currently not displaying any for NBA because, again, only one sportsbook, really not any good bets. And then for the NHL as well, like it's currently in the cheat sheet. It's just the way PrizePicks has really the bets that you would want to be betting on set up right now, where everything's a goblin that's a good bet. They're typically just not pulling in as good bets. Okay. And that's kind of the unfortunate thing, but I will be adding that in there so people can sort by goblins or by demons if that's what they choose to do. And both are hopefully things that I'll have on the cheat sheet today. Again, it's not like the data is not in there. It is just a dedicated sheet. And then also I will hopefully have the Flip cheat sheet and also DraftKings cheat sheet added with NHL and NBA in there as well, probably closer to next week, just as an FYI. But let's go ahead and get into the bets for today. We're going to start off with WNBA here, and the same bet that we had yesterday that was a good bet for us is still going to be probably the best bet on the board, which is going to be the under fantasy score here for Sabrina. This is one of those ones where I hope they're not trapping us into a bet, because this one has really not been touched since it's been given to us, and we can see we're clearly getting edge here. Typically speaking, PrizePicks would have bumped this down slightly to the point where we are no longer gaining an edge, and so it's still a decent bet here. Going to be betting this one, and then from there, guys, the board gets much more tight from there. One bet that we had yesterday was Lainey Hamilton for under 9 points. That's no longer as good of a bet, so fingers crossed that that hits. Let's go ahead and jump into MLB. Another one where interesting line movement, I would say, with MLB. Francisco Lindor, we saw that his fantasy score actually got bumped to 8 yesterday after I released the video, and so his fantasy points was not as good at that point. And I don't know if it's just like a volume thing, but PrizePicks has now bumped it back down to 7.5, and so again, it's a pretty decent bet. Only a 53% likelihood for this to hit, so nothing too crazy. But we can see the projection data likes the over. Again, guys, the projection data does seem to be a little bit more aggressive with the projections here for the playoffs. But the average sportsbook line would have this line closer to like 8.8, and so we are gaining a decent edge there. From there, the top one is going to be Severino for over his pitching fantasy score. Again, like yesterday, kind of the issue that we have with these pitching fantasy score prop bets. A lot of the times these projections are based off of innings pitched and then based off of likelihood to get a win, right? And so when a pitcher doesn't meet the qualifications to get a win, even though their team ends up winning, that does hurt the likelihood for a prop bet to hit. So I'm not saying don't bet it, but like we saw yesterday with Garrett Cole, who pitched a fine game, ended up giving up 2 runs, but really just needed 2 outs for us. And so that's part of the issue, is that it's really more difficult, I would say, for the books to be able to predict kind of what or the amount of innings a pitcher's going to pitch. So not terrible, but not great. Now, college football wise, we are getting some decent prop bets, I would say, here, where like with Tyler here, we could be running the over INTs, at 53% likely to get over an INT or to have an INT. The projection data would also have it set for him to get, an INT, throw an INT. So really not a bad one. That's one I'm definitely running out, I should say. Another decent one, I guess, would be John Love to get 2.7 kicking points. These ones are always a little bit annoying. Obviously at 6.5, heavily likely for him to get to over 6.5. At the same time, if he does get to over 6.5, that just means he's most likely getting to 7. And so this one's probably going to be a push, but not a terrible one there. And we do have some decent prop line differences. I just want to sort by this, specifically with the prop line differences, because we have a lot. So passing yards here, we can see that the passing yards line for Caden is definitely a bit high, especially compared to some of the other books that are out there. And so really, if you guys are looking to make some bets today or tonight, this is what I would encourage, because these are clearly edges that we are getting for college football, in the sense that a lot of these lines are just flat out wrong. Yesterday, I got a little bit of exposure to some of these college football prop bets by betting this way. Just wanted to get some action going in those games, and was able to be decently profitable. And like, I'm pretty sure like the rush yards was at like, I don't know, 60.5 for Fluff. And then Damian Taylor was like, I don't know, 55.5 or something like that. So the PrizePicks lines that we were getting there were a little bit too high for those ones last night. And so when we look at these where we were seeing the sportsbook lines being different than what PrizePicks has, that's great. But we also have some of these where also Underdog is telling us a little bit of a different story here as well. So we got Eric Rivers receiving yards, 73.5. The average sportsbook line would have the set at 68.25 on average, right? About a 50-50 split for him to get over 68.25. So not only does Underdog have this lower, the projection data has it lower. And so at 73.5, this is one of those bets that seems to be a little bit too high. So I'm happy to run the under out there. Another one here, Kenny Odom for under his receiving yards, 55.5. Exact same stuff going on there. Another one, IKEA, I don't know, Ike for under his receiving yards, 29.5. Again, just a little bit too high. And I love the fact that Underdog is also agreeing with those lines as well. So PrizePicks is clearly the outlier with these prop bets here. And so kind of like a casual bet of the day here for PrizePicks would just be betting all these unders that we have now. The best ones I would see are the ones where we are getting those decent prop line differences that I just bullet pointed here in yellow for you guys between PrizePicks and Underdog. I wouldn't say that they're middles. I would say that we are clearly gaining edges here with how PrizePicks is valuing these ones. So I'm happy to run those out. Mostly to get action in those games for a Wednesday where we don't have much going on, but still a fun way to do that. And then really the best current bet that we have right now is actually going to be Jaden Daniels to get over 1.5 passing touchdowns against Carolina. Yes, that game has the ability to be a blowout, but Brian Robinson Jr. is still a little bit banged up. I would say it definitely decreases the likelihood of a red zone rushing touchdown because Jeremy McNichols, Austin Eckler, and Austin Eckler at this point of his career, not really the biggest guys that are going to typically get those kind of rushing touchdowns. So I do think that slightly increases the likelihood of Daniels getting two passing touchdowns. And I really don't mind that one. That's a decent bet that we have. So guys, going to have like two kind of different PrizePicks bets of the day. Obviously we saw the college football slip that I gave you guys. So we're going to get into the other bet that I'm going to be running out today. Just want to remind you guys of a promo code that's going on 9to5sports.com right now. So if you guys want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, head on over to 9to5sports.com, get access to all those tools for just $10 a month when you use the promo code Keep Cashing. Get it for $8 a month for the first month. Take advantage of that. And so here would be the typical bet of the day here for you guys. And I like Jaden Daniels to use with the free square. We have Anthony Edwards free square on PrizePicks. Happy to use Jaden Daniels with that. If you guys don't want to go the full allotment with that, that's fine. Again, I don't know exactly if you guys are being limited on those or not, whether it's $5 or $25. Tough for me to say with how PrizePicks is doing that. Super annoying for me in terms of giving out content to tell you guys how to use that, but it is what it is. If you guys want to run a 5-slip bet out with that, you could, but we have a bet that has a 54% likelihood to hit that hasn't been bumped. By all means, let's go ahead and use that bet. Again, guys, that's going to be all for today's video. If you guys want access to any of the tools on 9to5sports.com, head on over there, get access to it. I didn't show you guys any Underdog prop bets, but the Underdog cheat sheet is available there, included in your 9to5 membership. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Good luck with your bets today, and as always, let's keep cashing.